It's time for us to have a discussion. Our discussion today in regards of is slavery divine? Growing up, we have heard talks of slavery and, blah, blah towards slavery. Does slavery exist? Is slavery lawful? And what are the different aspects of slavery so one can know not to put themselves into such a bondage? Before we get started, there's many references I know about that have delivered you this reference in many type of forms. And one form is a biblical form where it talk about a child being born from being bondage and a child being born free. And this was explained in Abraham parable. We know in the Bible, a lot of the Bible commentary and the literature within is allegory and metaphorical. And so with that, it's not straight wisdom all the way throughout. It's giving you aspects of existences in many forms. And so one of the many forms that we need to ask ourselves, because the Bible itself deals with this topic, and it's actually participants in the Bible who actually have this idealism, and this idealism being in owning slaves. Now, before we begin, slavery is on many levels, but first, on a human level, slavery deals with breeding and grafting newer species. And most species that is needed to create a grafted or a domesticated or a hybrid or a new species is indigenous man and woman. So a long time has history been shrouded and dubiously recorded to emphasize a false construct for us to receive it as reality. Now, through their constructs, they have created social fictions that have created an acceptance of something abnormal as normal. And we don't look at how the game done changed and the story been flipped. And shout out to all my brothers and sisters that's still legit, pushing, keeping their mind balanced and their heart warm. Now we have to bring into the topic of the matter of today in this moment. And stay with the further developments, because we finna be bringing hard, hidden, when I say hard, just hidden knowledge and wisdom kept from the masses. And the public has no acquaintance with these laws because they have been forbidden and kept away by priests and priesthoods. And so we're going to embark on something that has been foreclosed to those evicted from truth. So today we're going to reinstate you into truth and give you your home back, which is your mind, and knowing what you need to know to understand how to navigate this matrix. Anything against the creator is a patriarchal system. Anything against the creator is non-matriarchal. And so the creator being both masculine yet feminine. We have to use both of these existences in nature to produce a equality within ourselves. And so a long time it has took to rediscover through divine discovery these holy, well, they're not considered holy, they considered divine in these texts. In the Bible they say holy, 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 holy. All right, so it has been switches and uh tricking and tricknology, tricking the people and the masses of the people to make them believe false ideas, so they'll end up sacrificing themselves and harmful actions by committing evil upon human beings unknowingly, mentally, emotionally, physically. And so, is slavery divine? Question mark. Well, we're going to see what the Creator has to say. Everything that I pull up that you see and will see in future that says Sufa, these are the divine laws, aka the word of God that's being revealed and that's being hidden as the 144. And so, it goes through a cycle, and through these cycles, things are revealed. And now we have the time, as we know, we have with us the Book of Remembrance, brought to you by K.O.S. Divine Discovery. Sufa 126, the slave, is our subject matter tonight for study. So we're going to study the slave. Let's see, is slavery divine? Slavery is called Abid. Abid. So slave is Abid, and this is, to me, before we even begin in bringing you the deliverance, any form of slavery I disagree with, personally. Universally, the same. And we're going to see divinely that that's a violation of any birth of existence. Now, here we go. 1, old people. Talking to all the people now. We're going to be going nose diving into this. Talking about all the people now. Not we the people, but old people. This is an attention. This is a declaration. We're making a statement here that there's no other deity. You may use the word, which has been a social construct for the people, and that's God. There is no other deity is the correct word for God, because we'll get to it, but deity is the word we want to retranslate back to its original translation, and it's deity. So there's no other deity but Allah. Allah. There's no other deity but Allah. Now, it's talking about all of us. We say Allah for tones, but it's pronounced all ah. Because all us are from Ah. You can't come into existence without being from Ah. And all that's in existence come from Ah. So, old people, there's no other deity but all Ah. 2, the compassionate. All Ah is the compassionate, the beneficent, the gracious. 3, all prayers and homage be to all Ah and no other. 4, let it be said, it is an abomination. Let it be said, it is an abomination before Allah for all. Let's repeat that. Number 4, let it be said, It is an abomination before Allah for any man, for any woman to enslave another. There we have it right then, right now. Violation before Allah. Before all, it is an abomination before all for any man or woman to enslave another. All I do not play that. All I don't slave all, so no man or woman enslave another. Let this be said, it is an abomination. So as we come in, let me scroll you through the study. Now we're going to go into just so you get a clear conception of what they have socially constructed called edamon. So edamon is an abomination, as we see, is a noun. So as we flip it back, it says, number 4, let it be said, it is an abomination before Allah. We heard this word abomination. Abomination is signifying abominable thing or action. What's abominable? Feeling of disgust, feeling of hatred, a feeling of loathing. These such acts or such things as mental states are an abomination. Horror, disgust, repugnance, shuns, ill omens, all these are forms of abomination. In biblical use, we see that which is ceremonially impure. Ceremonially impure. So we need to see, as we go back to the evidence of 4, let it be said, it is an abomination. It is a disgust, a hatred before Allah for any man or woman to enslave another. That is disgusting. That is loathing, so self-loathing. As we see, as we go back to and from, that's how you study the lower self. So now let's go to 5. Now, slavery is bad. 5, whether by bondage, slavery by bondage, slavery by obligation, slavery by fear, or slavery by debt. All these are still forms of slavery. Let's dive into the waters of wisdom of Allah. Allah tells us on 6, slavery. Slavery. We know, we heard. Let's see what the Lord Self has recorded. Slavery is severe toil. Slavery is severe hard work. Slavery is severe drudgery. A state, a mental state of servitude, a condition of a slave, entire subjection to the will and commands of another. In 1570s, the sense of the keeping of holding of slaves is from 1728. So slavery is a negative just by defining it alone. 7 or 6 still, slavery in all forms, from the micro to the macro, is the gravest of transgression. Slavery is the gravest of transgression. Let's go with transgression. What is transgression? Transgression is particularly that relating to Adam and the fall. A transgression of the law. A transgression of the law. So a transgression of the law is a transgressor, as we see. And a transgressor commits transgression. So as we see, a transgression of the law, to step past the law, to break the boundary of the law. This is the gravest transgression. The gravest transgression. A stone over a grave transgression. That act is a stone over a grave or a coffin based action. All forms of slavery is transgression and gravest transgression. So all people know now that slavery in any form and all forms is the gravest of transgression, whether that be by bondage, whether that be by obligation, whether that be by fear or debt. As we get wiser, number 7, verily, any man or woman who partake, let's repeat, 7, verily, any man or woman who partakes in slavery is forbidden to be known as a Muslim. Forbidden. Anyone who partakes in slavery is forbidden to be under the laws of Islam, known as a Muslim. What is a Muslim? A Muslim is one who follows Musa. Moses. The followers of Moses. Slavery is a transgression. This is what Moses' story was signifying. The escape of bondage, or Egypt represent bondage, was slavery. Clicking. Thumbs up if we like. If you clicking from this. Subscribe if you like. If you clicking from this. If you need more, keep clicking. And we're going to keep linking. Yes, linking now. Clicking and linking. Number 8, let's link in. Allah says to be wise. It is better a man lose his life in the eyes of Allah than permit one of his family be sold into slavery. Allah don't want nobody into slavery, and especially nobody having a family. It is evil in the eyes of Allah. Don't permit slavery. Slavery is prohibited, just like alcohol was prohibited. All slavery is prohibited. Why have these laws been cascaded from us? Why cover these laws up? Why throw these laws in the closet of darkness, hoping to never be found again? Well, we have opened the door. Keep that in mind now. This is about slavery. Number 9. It is better a man loses sight than trick another into slavery. What's a way you could trick another into slavery? Through debt and bondage. Through debt and bondage. Let's go to the rhetoric. Debt. Debt is anything owed. We see it's a 1300 century word, debt. They don't even say the B, debt. Debit. Debt. Look, pronunciation and diction is everything, and the diction they told us was not it. Look at this right here. Debt. Let's see what it says. Debt is anything owed. Debt is anything due from one person to another. Anything owed or due from one person to another. This is debt. Another definition of debt: a liability. A liability. A liar is a debt. Why? A liar brings liability. So a liar is a liability, aka an enslaver. Another defining term, obligation to play. Oh, obligation to pay. An obligation to pay is a debt. Also, debt is render something to another. To render something to another. Okay. So as we move forward, we get the rhetoric of these lingo. Okay, bondage. Let's go to bondage. Now, bondage states is also 1300 century word. States bondage is a legal condition. Bondage is a legal condition of a serf or slave. A legal condition or of a slave or a serf. What's some more words for bondage? A serf, a tenant is another word. A tenant farmer is another word for bondage. So as we see, bondage is a legal condition. So any legal condition is also not permitted by a law. All of us, we know that we don't even think that way normally, that one should be enslaved by their own stupidity. We help one through love. We love instead of hate. This has been taught to us, and in school they taught you that you were and is a slave and you come from a slave. Is that thumbs up worthy? This is what we got to reflect upon. The things you were told that you didn't tell yourself. Now, this is what Allah, who is in you, gives you the ability with. Now check this. Number 10. We on 10. It is more merciful that a man lose both his arms than receive a single coin in reward for slavery. No coin like Judas, 32 shekels, to do the act that was done. That was a form of bondage. Who was he in bondage to? The priesthood of that time, known as the Jews. So as we bring this into respect, you better know Jesus was Islam. And Jesus was Sufyan Islam. And we better understand Jesus was a Sufyan. And all will be revealed. 11. Woe unto those who promote slavery in defiance of the will of Allah, in defiance of the will of all. See, if it's not your will, then it's against your will. And anyone against your will is promoting slavery. And slavery, as we see, is against the divine creator. 12. Verily, all Muslims are called by sacred obligation. Sacred obligation. A divine obligation to all Muslims, followers of Musa. 13. To seek out and destroy all who partake in slavery. All who partake in slavery and debt slavery. Divine obligation number 14. To destroy any records and registers of debt slavery. who are holding slavery records and who have these in registers. Wherever such records may be, destroy any records and registers of debt slavery. 15, to free and liberate any and all who have been forced into bondage, by obligation, by obligation, by obligation, fear or debt. Free and liberate any and all who have been forced into bondage by obligation, fear, or debt. 16, solemnly. Solemnly. It is the sacred duty of every Sufian Muslim. True means Sufian. Sufian Muslim to seize every moneylender and merchant of slavery and end their disgraceful lives. These people have hurt, harmed, murdered children and women, innocent, blameless, for the sake of merchandising and the sake of slavery, against one's will, never consented by one's own self, but taken apart by a group of evil, and want their rulership to be respected as divine rule. We see this is not divine rule. They have hidden divine rule, and now divine rule is being revealed. All was done in the dark shall come into the light. 18. Truly, if a Muslim community ignores their sacred obligation against slavery, and slavery by debt and bondage. 19. Then they are no better than the slave traders and money lenders, and must be treated as so. Let's look around. Let's look around. Who been claiming that they've been Muslim for long years? Who been claiming they've been Christian for long years? Who are doing this slave trading, and who are the money lenders? All right. 20. Rise up like sun in the morning. Rise up like the sun in the morning. Like the sun on the ascendant. Rise up and rid this world of such filth and disrespect. And what's more disrespectful as is all forms of slavery. Eh? 21. Slavery is a transgression. Not only a transgression, but slavery is a transgression against heaven and earth, and the gravest transgression against Islam, the greatest transgression against Jesus, who is properly Esau. This is against Islam. We can't have this in Islam. No, not in Islam. This is for Esau and all who love Esau. In the name of Jesus, in the name of Yahshua, all these were great names of Jesus. Now, we see slavery is a devastating action to humanity, and all humanity must be uplifted right now, right now, right now. Rise up, rise up, rise up. We are not, and we will be not disrespected, as is all forms of slavery. Slavery is here now a transgression against all heaven and earth, and is the gravest transgression against Islam. 22. A Muslim is forbidden to partake in slavery. We know Esau didn't partake in slavery. Who do you see? Who did y'all see Esau enslaved? No one. I did not see in my literature reading and observation. 23. Verily, any preacher who claims slavery is permitted under Islam must be immediately seized. Esau didn't permit it, so it's not permitted in Islam. Why would Islam promote what Esau didn't promote when these are his teachings? 24. And thrown into the deepest pit, that their existence be wiped from the eyes of Allah. For such contempt against, for such contempt against, for such contempt against divine law. Check out the other preview video as we bring this to a close now. 25 to 27. Number 25. A man who treats ill any in his service as if they be a slave. 26. Does not deserve to be kindly treated by Allah. By all. 27. A wealthy man who does not give those in his service the same to eat and the same to drink as himself is a tyrant. And this is what we have when we come into Sufa 126, the slave. Now, from your observation, and now from your wise wisdom, from this wise knowledge, is slavery divine? Peace and love, community.